let's get into the stuff that we want to talk about today. And as we know, this week, the Batman comes out. The Batman opens up this week, and we are all excited for it, including the guy sitting right here. Especially since I have already seen the Batman. That's right, I have seen the Batman, and I'm going to give you guys a review of it. Now, I will warn you right up front, I am not, I repeat, am not going to get into spoilers. I am going to do a spoilers review this upcoming weekend that will go up on the podcast feed, but I am not going to do that here. I'm not going to give away spoilers. I will do that another time. I'm just going to give you guys my general impressions, things I like, things I didn't like, and so on and so forth. Now, I am also going to bring up my my Instagram reaction, because I'm going to read you that, and then I'm going to kind of explain further some of my thoughts on what I said in that post. Let me go ahead and open this up here. So I put up my social media reaction, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys saw my social media reaction. I said this: The Batman is a thrilling movie from start to finish. Robert Pattinson kills it as the Dark Knight. Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman are also fantastic. The cinematography is gorgeous, and this easily has some of the best action I've seen in a comic book movie. I have one nitpick with the movie, but overall, it is fantastic. 10 out of 10. Now, yes, I do give this movie a 10 out of 10. Now, having said that, I only have seen it the one time. I have not seen it multiple times. I did get an invite to see it again, but the problem is I had work that morning, and I was not going to make the screening. So that, unfortunately, that's how it went. So let me go ahead and kind of give you guys my big picture thought on this. When this movie was first announced, originally this was going to be the Ben Affleck version Batman movie. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in 2016, when they announced the Batman was coming out, it was going to be about Ben Affleck's Batman. It was going to tie into the DCEU. And then Matt Reeves got involved, and that slowly started to go away as Matt Reeves wanted to do his own version and wanted to do something new. And when that happened, a part of me was kind of disappointed by that, because I wanted to see a Ben Affleck starring Batman movie. And then over the years, I doubted that this movie was even going to happen. And then they started casting. They got Robert Pattinson to play Batman, which I've honestly have changed my tune on the guy. If this was after Twilight, I would have said hell no. But having seen him in movies like Good Time, The Rover, The Lighthouse, I think he's become a better actor. So when they announced him as Batman, I was like, okay, I'm all in. Then they cast Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I was like, okay, cool, that's awesome. Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon, awesome. Colin Farrell as Penguin, awesome. Paul Dano as the Riddler, awesome. Andy Serkis as Alfred. I was like, okay, I'm in now. And then they casted John Turturro as Carmine Falcone, and I was like, oh wow, that's perfect cast. I'm in. And I started getting more excited about it, and then the movie finally started production, and I became even just flat out. I was like, okay, now I can buy into it. This movie's happening. I can't wait. And then COVID happened, and the movie kind of stopped filming, and I was like, oh no. And then that trailer. This was the biggest turning point for me when it came to my excitement for the Batman. DC Fandom 2020. Matt Reeves is on there, and he's talking about the Batman. He's going through and really giving us a lot of information about the movie. And then that trailer, where Batman proceeds to beat the living fuck out of that one guy, I just about lost my shit. I almost pissed my pants. I'm sorry for the amount of cursing I'm doing, but it was just exciting to me that this was the Batman movie we were getting. I was so excited after seeing that trailer, and honestly, the movie couldn't come soon enough. Like, I was just that excited for it. We're here. I have seen the movie, and the movie very much lived up to every expectation that I had for it. It was fantastic. This is the movie that Matt Reeves pitched to everybody and told everybody that this movie was going to be back at that DC Fandom 2020. This is a hard-hitting detective story. It really is. From the opening scene of the movie, I knew we were in for something really special. And I just was like, I was in from that from the opening moments of the film. Let me talk about the cast. Like I said, the casting is fantastic. Robert Pattinson is amazing as Batman. Now, I will say this. Although Robert Pattinson, I still prefer Ben Affleck over Robert Pattinson for me. Robert Pattinson does do a really damn good job, and I think he does bring a little bit of that same energy that Ben Affleck brought as Batman. Not to say, obviously this is a younger Batman, so he hasn't really been through as much as the character was going through in Justice when we met him in Batman vs. Superman. But my God, Robert Pattinson's Batman is brutal. This dude is intense. If I was a criminal in Gotham City, I would be terrified of that man. I would see the bat signal and I'd run away immediately. Because this dude, when this dude fights, when this dude beats you up, oh my gosh, I was sitting there watching him just, in every action scene, I was watching him just do his thing and I went, holy crap. Like, I was like, I sat back in my seat and I was just that almost terrified of him. Anytime Batman is on screen, it almost felt like a horror movie. It's just like, it felt like that. If you know what it felt like, this is what it felt like. It felt like that moment in Rogue One where the rebels are about to run off with the Death Star plans, and Darth Vader shows up on that ship and starts wasting everybody away. And you just get this sense of fear running through your body. That's how I felt whenever Robert Pattinson showed up as Batman. I thought he was fantastic. And as Bruce Wayne, I thought he was a very interesting Bruce Wayne as well. So, Zoe Kravitz, absolutely. I honestly think she might. I don't know. I have to see it again. But I think Zoe Kravitz might end up being my new favorite Catwoman. She kind of displays a little bit more of the character that was portrayed in Batman the Animated Series. And I kind of liked it in that way. Paul Dano as the Riddler. Now, the one nitpick I mentioned in my Instagram reaction, I still, for the life of me, hate the look of the Riddler. That stupid look of the Riddler. I hate it so much. I do. I just do. Like, I know a lot of people are probably going to think it's creepy and terrifying. I generally don't like it. I just wish they had gone more traditional and given him the green jacket with the bowler hat and the stick. I just wish they had gone with that Riddler instead of something that almost looks like Jigsaw. I just didn't really. Whenever Riddler showed up in his little stupid costume, I was like, I'm watching a Saw movie now. But again, it was one small nitpick. It doesn't really affect the movie because Riddler as a character is fantastic. Riddler as a character is so good. So good. And I think I thought he was scary. That was the one. They released this clip online, so I'm not really giving much away. They released this clip on Good Morning America, I think it was, where Riddler is in the cafe, is in the diner, and the cops come in and they're going in to arrest him, right? And he like puts his arms up, right? He puts his arms up and he turns around. The face, the look of Paul Dano's face, I watched that and I went, that's a serial killer. And Paul Dano just did a good job of convincing me that he was that character. And overall, I like the approach they went with Riddler. But again, I just hate the costume. That's all. Colin Farrell as Penguin was absolutely perfect. I thought he was absolutely perfect. And there were a couple times watching the movie, I took one of my friends to see the movie. And I remember one of my friends looking at me was like, "Oh, I wonder who played Penguin. He was really good." And I said, "That's Colin Farrell." And he's like, "That's Colin Farrell? No way." Like he didn't even recognize that was Colin Farrell because he's got all this makeup on him. But he absolutely steals it as Penguin. Jeffrey Wright, Andy Serkis, John Stewart, they're all fantastic in this movie. And again, I was very much I gotta say, I was very impressed with what was going on with this Batman. Let's talk about the action. The action in this movie is incredible. Like the cinematography, the way that Greg Fraser is the DP on this film, and I believe. Let me go ahead and take a look at his IMDb here because I know he's done there it is. I skipped over. Yeah, so he did the cinematography for Dune. He was the DP on 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. He was a director of photography on Rogue One, Zero Dark 30. Yeah, he was, and so when he came in and did this, I remember watching this, and there were moments that did feel like I was watching something pulled straight out of Zero Dark 30. Especially that moment. We've all seen it in the trailers, so I'm not giving anything away. But when Batman is walking through that hallway and all the guns are firing at him, just the camera standing still at the end of the hallway as that scene is playing out was fantastic, and it's just so beautiful. And the editing of these action sequences was great because, whereas something like in the Christopher Nolan movies, right? And I love the Christopher Nolan. I mean, Dark Knight is still my favorite Batman movie. But when it comes to the Christopher Nolan movies, one of the things that people complain about them was the action sequences because there was a lot of quick cuts, and it almost felt like Christopher Nolan didn't really know how to direct action, And I didn't get that feeling here. Like watching the action sequences in the movie, I felt like I was watching just a pro shoot these action sequences, and that was great. And I will say, the music, Michael Giacchino's music, the soundtrack is available on YouTube Music, and I won't go ahead and I won't say any of the track names Um, just because I know there are people who don't listen to the soundtracks until they see the movie. Um, but my God, I've been ever since that soundtrack dropped, I have been listening to this soundtrack non-stop. Like I especially that main Batman theme, you know, um bum 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 bum. Like that main theme is incredible. Just so perfect. Um yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say, guys. I mean, I guess I guess I should go ahead and wrap this review up because it's been going for like 17 minutes already. But the Batman, it's like I said in that review, it's thrilling. It feels like a hard hitting detective story. It is, I think, the darkest Batman movie we've ever gotten. And I think this is, and again, I have to see it again. But if I were to rank this amongst the Batman films, I think it might be my second favorite behind The Dark Knight. I don't think it beats The Dark Knight for me, but I think it comes very, very close because it gives me those exact vibes that I loved from The Dark Knight. It is more realistic. It's gritty. It's darker. It has it's way more it feels more violent than the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. And I loved it for that. And it felt like its own thing. I feel like Matt Reeves really does understand the character of Batman, and I want to see a sequel. I want to see like 5 movies with this incarnation of Batman. I want to see Robert Pattinson's full career as the Batman character. I think that would be so awesome. And yeah, I love this movie, guys, and of course I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because, and look, that score might change after because I have only seen it the one time. It might change after seeing it the second time. That's why I'm going to go see it a second time before I do the spoilers review. But, like I said, I am excited, and like I said, I love the movie, and I can't wait for everyone else to see it. That way, I can now finally open up and talk about way more stuff because there's so much stuff. There is so many deep cut things I want to talk about, but I can't because I don't want to spoil the movie. So I'm going to shut my mouth now.